Yo. How's everybody doing? Let's get the show on the road.
Old school teaching the children how to be a homosexual and make sure they all teach them how to transgender. So that is what important to me. Old school teaching the children how.
Yo, that's funny. That is funny. Welcome, everybody. How's everybody doing? I hope y'all are doing well. Welcome to the live stream. Yo, that is funny. That is fucking funny. That is Kim Jong-un right there. Let's listen to some music real quick while I scroll up. We got Baby Yoda and what is that? Blue what? Something Desire I can't see. Baby Yoda. Anyway, welcome everybody. I hope y'all are doing well. Everybody tap into the live. But I got some stuff to show you guys. So if you guys haven't seen my last video that I uploaded, I was talking to all the indigenous relatives out there. If you're indigenous, you should share this live. We're going to be talking about a lot of things that a lot of people need to hear. Let me introduce myself. Nyawe Scano Seguego, Joya Ni Gatso, Neonunduaga, Guenweka Goeno. Rani Ni Gatso, Ne English Goeno, Di Wasent, don't ni Wagos Yakos, West Ni Sanction, Den, Joji, Aknoyan, Yakadai Onga, Agadai Onga, Hoodin the Shoni Neonunduaga ni, Ganonda say got their guest gown, Hononja, their kick nonge. So, what I said is, Nyawe Scano Seguego, I'm thankful y'all are doing well. Joya ni Gatso, I'm called Joya, Neono Dawaka Gweka Goeno in the Seneca language. Rani ni Gatso ne English Goeno. Rani is what I'm called in the English language. Di wasant don't ni Mogoziako. I'm 29 years old. Zawasat ni Sansion Dan Agadai Onga. I'm of the Heron clan. Ganondase got that guest gown. Newtown, Cattaraugus, Hononjade, Kiknonget. Territory, that's where I'm from. So Cattaraugus Indian Territory, that's where I'm from, and Noaha, and I'm thankful. So that's how a Haudenosaunee or Ongwehonwe person would introduce themselves. They would let you know their name. They would first greet you and let you know what they're called and their clan, you know, or their tribe. You know, they might throw their age in there. The more the speaker knows, you know, the more language, the more they can introduce themselves better. And then you get so good you can introduce your relatives. You can describe your relatives, you know. We'll get there one day. But if you're in here, tap in, let us know that you're watching. Say something. Make my shirt look dirty. It's not dirty, it's just ash. Been smoking. This that Baby Yoda right here though. Yes, it's a blunt roller. Yes, I know how to roll a blunt without it, but it comes out perfect every time, so that's why I use it. Okay, so relatives. So what you are looking at on your screen is all the Pretendian tribes in the United States. These are all fake ass fucking tribes, yo. Right here. These are all fake Pretendian fucking tribes, yo. Isn't that crazy? No offense, but you look like us Hispanics. Well, Hispanic is a misnomer. Hispanics, majority of Hispanics are majority indigenous. Hispanics are Mayans and Aztecs and Tainos. Those are your Hispanics. You're not a Hispanic though. You're not from Spain. You're not a Latino either. You're not from Italy. Christopher Columbus was a Latino. That's what a Latino is, an Italian. Someone from Latin Rome. Stop calling yourself Latino. Stop calling yourself Hispanic. You're Native American. Damn, this Baby Yoda is some gas right here, though. Some gas. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, look at all these fake ass fucking tribes, yo. Look, other groups that self identify as Indian but neither are federally or state recognized. The following list includes the latter. Yeah, look, in the Caribbean, Alabama, Cherokee Nation. There's a Cherokee Nation in almost every fucking state, yo. Arizona, American Cherokee, Arkansas, Cherokee, California. Watch. There's going to be a Cherokee. Yup, Cherokee. Let's see. Muncie, Colorado. Okay. Colorado, you're off the hook. Connecticut. Let's see. You got some Mohicans. Nipmuc. Okay. Connecticut is off the hook. Delaware is off the hook. District of Columbia, of course. Cherokee, Tuscarora Nation of Turtle Island. Oh my god. These are the fakest tribes I've ever heard of in my life, yo. Choctaw Nation of Florida, Church of Métis Tribe. Yeah, dude, these are some Rainbow Tribes, Tampa Bay. Red Nations Intertribal. Cherokees Incorporated. Cherokee Indians of Georgia. So there's a Cherokee tribe in almost every state. Choctaw Nation, Mississippi River Clan of Illinois. I was chosen to debunk the Pretendians. If anybody was going to do it, it would have to be me. Because I'm a New York native. I'm a city native, yo. Born and raised on the Indian territory, but the res got too small for me. I came out here as soon as I was old enough. So I've been running around out here. So if anybody was going to check these people, it would have to be me. Buffalo Spirit Band of the United Métis Tribe. That's sad. That is sad. Yeah, I know. This is a long ass list, yo. I keep seeing Delaware Muncie. Look how they spelled Muncie. Oh, fucking A, yo. What they try to do, what you're gonna notice is these Pretendians, they'll copy your tribe, but they'll switch the spelling of it like that. Straight up. Yo, this is a website filled with Pretendian tribes from each state. They know that these people are fucking Pretendians. They're keeping track of them. Right here. Cherokee tribe of Kentucky. Yeah, there's a Cherokee tribe in almost every state, yo. Yo, I knew there was gonna be some Choctaw in Louisiana, some fake ass Choctaw tribe in Louisiana. Louisiana Choctaw Turtle Tribe, fucking Chitimacha. Yo, Confederation of Muskogees. Yo, isn't this fucking Before Alls tribe? Yo, that's what I mean, yo. That's the lady that said that natives went to Indian training schools. Part of a fake ass $5 tribe, yo. It's listed on a fucking fake tribe website. You go guy Gil you Gil Gainey River Band Gil Gilgany? I don't know. Rebel Death Panther Tribe International. Wyandotte of Anderdon Nation. Look at this one. The official Native American tribe of the Choctaw people of Jackson County, Mississippi. State law in 2016 declared this organization. Oh, they made a declaration. So this is another thing that Pretendians do. So what they do is when a trans person or somebody becomes trans, they make a declaration that they want to be a boy. I declare I want to be a boy. Like, say a girl says she declares she wants to be a boy. She's making a declaration. She wants to, same mental illness, same community. That's you're claiming something you're not. You are transracial. You are indigenous. You are not indigenous. You see what I mean? You got trans people. Mound builder tribes. Oh yeah, look at this. Ohio, look. Where is it? They got Allegheny, right? And then Free Cherokee. Hold on. Erie. Yep, right here. No, wait. What? Where the fuck is it? Ohio. The fuck is it, yo? Oh, right here. Erie Indian Nation. What? I thought they were in Ohio. This Wisconsin? Yeah, Wisconsin has a fuck ton, yo. But we're moving on. Oh, right here. I got it right here. I got you real quick. Wisconsin. Right here. Yep. They got 3 of them. Southern Cherokee Confederacy, the Mohawkanic and Muncie tribes, and then the Brotherton Indians of Wisconsin. Declined, acknowledged in 2012. Yo, guys, so I need you guys to do me a favor. So, the people that want to help me out with something, I need you guys to go on TikTok and report a video for me. So, if you go to Turtle Gang FBA underscore FBA, hold on. So, let's see. So you're gonna go to on TikTok, right? And you're gonna go to this guy's profile, Turtle Gang underscore FBA, and then there's gonna be prison AI videos. You're gonna go to those videos and you're gonna report those. Okay? Report them for hate speech and harassment. They're pretty derogatory videos about me, yo. They're pretty bad, yo. He's got me twerking on him. This guy has the mind of a homosexual. Out of all the things in the world to make AI out of, and he makes AI of me in prison with him twerking and shit, yo. It's super gay. So, yeah, you guys can go on TikTok, and that's his profile right there. Go. The reason why he made all those videos about me is because I exposed this about him, that he's a predator. So he's like real mad at me. So go ahead and report those. Yeah, dude. It's like they're trying to make me look like something I'm not. It's like, yeah, you guys we're desperate with that one. So Genosio. Ooh, went, ooh, went, ooh, went, ooh, ooh. What are you watching? Yeah, NPCs, definitely. Okay. Good, thank you. Thank you. Yo, I appreciate you. One report can go a long way, actually. Damn, is it just me or fuck? I look good in this lighting or something. Maybe it's just the blunt. But fuck. You've been blessed to actually see Skinwalker. Me and my girl saw something. A dog, yo, it was weird. Yo, it had shoulder blades sticking out of its back, and it ran on its back legs across the street. And by the time it got to the other side of the street, it was already on four, all four. Like it was like half transformation going running across the street. It ran across the street with its hunched over, and by the time it was got to the other side of the street, it was already on four, and it had shoulder blades like a human sticking out of its back. And we were driving by at night. This was on the res, right near the Longhouse in Newtown. Not on Longhouse, but on Seneca. Yo, appreciate you, Chico. Yahweh means I'm thankful. And Seneca, onondo waka goeno. Yo, oh, Gahkwa. Yeah. Let's look up the Hebrew word for sun. Or Egyptian word. What language did the ancient Egyptians speak? They better be able to read it out loud too. Is Ra. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Shit, that one's easy. The fuck? That's a good one right there. I feel dumb now. It's Ra, yo. So we got a Iroquoian. We got extinct Iroquoian language right here. But we're going to be looking it up. We've got northern and then we got extinct. We're going to be looking them both up. We're going to be looking for words that match with Egypt, different anywhere in the world. Y'all can also participate in this research. So while I'm looking something up, you can look up another word that matches. It's a matching game, basically. Find different languages that have the same word with the same meaning. This is how you connect the dots, people. This is how you do real research. So as a team, I got 10 people on Facebook and 10 people on YouTube. We can look up different words, but everybody just try to find a word that is in a different language from another culture that matches that, and you'll be able to put the pieces together. Like Ra. Right here in Susquehanna, it has a R. So I'm going to look at all the languages for the word for sun. I know in Cayuga and Seneca is Gahkwa. Soika Gahkwa. Said Wasiyanaka Gahkwa, our elder brother son, right? So sun is Gahkwa right here. Mohawk Krahkwa. Oneida, Yotalahala, Onondaga, Ganukwe, Seneca, Gahkwa. I don't know why it says Yokokwe, but Yokokwe. It's Gahkwa. Tuscarora, Okekwe, and Cherokee is Ageya. And Lord, these are all Iroquoian languages, right? And then you got extinct Iroquoian languages too. So that's interesting. Guys, if you can share my lives, that would be helpful. Get more viewers in here. I seen a Facebook live today. Some girl had like 180 people watching her. Like, damn, Facebook gets like that? I didn't know Facebook gets like that. So let's try to get it like that. I can get it like that on TikTok, no problem, but I get banned over there. If I can do a lot more on YouTube, I don't know about Facebook. I just started streaming over there, but I'm double streaming. Like, I only got one camera going right now. So what you see on YouTube is what you see on Facebook. But anyway, back to the research. So the Egyptian word for sun, let's look up the Hebrew word for sun. So the Egyptian word for sun is Ra. We're going to look up the Hebrew word. We're going to look up the Phoenician word. Hey, Segwa! The Hebrew word for sun is Shemesh. Shemesh. Sun. Gakwa, Krakwa, Shemesh. Okay, Laurentian. We got, what the fuck is that? We got Isne. What the fuck? What was the word? Shemesh. 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 Is it Shemesh? Is it Shemesh? Because E's make a A noise, yo. I gotta hear that shit, yo. Now I gotta hear this shit. Read it out loud. Hey, Segwa! Goddamn. Shamash. Okay. Isne Ahita Yandisha. 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 Okay. So the reason why I'm doing this is not because I'm not a Hebrew Israelite. I'm Seneca. I am Umwe Hue. I'm Haudenosaunee. Right? I consider myself a traditionalist. The reason why I'm doing this is because people have yet to there's lots of information out there saying that our language is Hebrew. I'm looking for myself and I'm not finding anywhere where our language is Hebrew. None of this even matches. The only ones that are similar is they have similar letters, one or two sounding letters. The S, and that's goes with a lot of languages. A lot of languages have a S sound. So, what's the topic of today? We don't really have a topic when we go on YouTube and Facebook. We're double streaming, so we're just doing research. Native research. This is how natives do research. You get to watch. I got a pretty nice setup for those that want to see. You know, we take things very seriously here. Just so you guys know. Anyway, let's see. Hadanonta for sing. Hadanonta for sing. Okay, man. Hongwe. There we go. So man in Cayuga is Hongwe. Man in Mohawk is Rongwe. Man in Oneida is Lugwe. Onondaga is Hengwe. Seneca is Hongwe. Tuscarora is Rikwe. And Cherokee is Uskaya. I probably butchered the Cherokee. I'm not Cherokee. I'm Seneca. So. Fake research. This guy's a junkie. Dude, not everybody is like you, okay? Not everybody is like you, okay? Not everybody's like you and your homies. Okay, so white. Gagant. Yup. Blanc. White. Gagant. How you say white? There you go. Let's see. Iaban. How the fuck do you say that? Laban, or is that a I or Laban? Laban. Okay, Laban. Okay. Laban. Okay. Let's see. I know Oneida and Mohawk got L's in it, so right up automatically anything with L's, R's, B's, P's, M's, F's, it's not gonna be Seneca. It's definitely not gonna be Seneca's. We do not have letters with that make our language, our lips don't touch. They would not know yo, they would know yo, ni somewhere no da say, Nandy was our work, Nanny on great dog, scan not to nothing yo, or jabba no yo. We don't have our lips don't touch when we talk, yo. So anyway, what's your top favorite 3 tribes besides your own? Onondaga, Mohawk, and then shit, Susquehannock. There you go. I'm looking at them on the screen right here. So Laban for white, Laban and then Blanc, Laban and Blanc, Blanc. I guess I can see the similarity there. Laban and Blanc. So it goes from Laban to Blanc, right? But our word for white is Gagant. So LeBlanc. No, I don't see any similarities. Or for water is Onega, right? Onega. Oneganos, right? Onega G is coffee. So Onega. Susquehanna and Seneca are very similar with water. Actually, a lot. So Susquehanna, Anscott, Dickney, Axe, Rain, Whisk. That sounds like Seneca. Scott, Dickney, Saint, Gay, Weiss. Come on. There's a connection between Seneca and the Susquehanna. I'm going to count to 5 in Seneca, and then I'm going to count to 5 in Susquehanna. And tell me if you hear the similarities. Scad. Hold on. Put it on the screen for you so you can see it. It's Seneca. You can see Seneca and you can see Susquehanna. So we're going to count to 5 in Seneca. Scad, Dickney, Saint, Gay, Weiss. Right? Weiss, Weiss, Gay, Saint, Dickney, Scad. Right? Dogweistan, 0. So, or nothing. Right? But Susquehanna, the way they count, now this sounds very similar. Susquehanna, Anscott, Dickney, Axe, Rain, Whisk. Scott, Dickney, Saint, Gay, Weiss. Scott, Dickney, Saint, Gay, Weiss. In Seneca. Scott, Dickney, Saint, Gay, Weiss. Susquehanna. Anscott, Dickney, Axe, Rain, Whisk. Yeah, they're related. 100%. Scott, Dickney, Saint, Gay, Weiss. Anscott, Dickney, Axe, Rain, Whisk. The fuck? Yeah, yo. And then this is an extinct tribe, yo. Extinct. Hold on, let's go to that list of organizations, see if they got Susquehanna. I think I seen it on here, yo. Look at this. On this website, list of organizations that self-identify as Native American tribes. These are fake-ass tribes, people. Look at this. They got Susquehanna. It's going to be in the Northeast, so we're going to go to the Northeastern. New York. Let's go to New York. Let's see. We're looking for Susquehanna tribes. Yo, and you would think, okay, so you see these other tribes. So what Pretendians do is they look up extinct tribes in their areas, right? They look up extinct tribes in their areas and they'll cling on to that, think that they're like descendants of that somehow, just because they live in the area that a tribe used to be. So that's what's going on. And then so Susquehanna or Susquehannock is an Iroquoian speaking people, right? You would think that the tribes that like Matane-Cock that have the word cock in it, or Hannock or Shagik-Coke, you would think that would be also Iroquoian, but no, those are Algonquin. Poospatuck, Shinnecock. Shinnecock is Algonquin, but Susquehannock is Iroquoian. Now, what I believe, natives aren't going to talk about this. I believe that there's tribes that have been misclassified. Hell yeah, there's tribes that been misclassified. You got Algonquin tribes down on Long Island wearing Gastoettes and shit. And now we need to start looking into their language. Now, this is what our ancestors would have wanted. This is the best dream come true ever. I can look up anything I want. So let's go see if there's been tribes been misclassified, yo. Native Americans have been reclassified more than anybody else, more than black people. We've been reclassified more than black people. They called us the naturals, right? Or the aboriginals. That's two already, right? In the Declaration of Independence, they called us merciless Indian savages, right? In the 1850 census to the 1860 census, we were called copper, right? That's already 4. They've only been reclassified like 4 times, right? Copper. We were called Native American until they came up with the anti-immigration party in the early 1900s. So we became American Indians. That's 6, right? After we became American Indians for a little bit, we became First Nations, right? So after we became First Nations, now we're indigenous. Now we're indigenous. Do you see how many times we've been reclassified? You don't see us crying. You don't see me crying. Oh, I've been reclassified. Get the fuck out of here. Come on. That's how many times we've been reclassified, people. And I gave you dates that you can look up too. So anyway, but look at these tribes. Let's try to find this Susquehannock tribe because I could have sworn I seen it. It's probably going to be Ohio or New Jersey right here. New Hampshire, Pennacock, right? You would think that would be Iroquois, but nope, Algonquin, because it has cock in it, right? Susquehannock. Let's see. Fuck. Your mom was a Blackfoot and your dad was a Shinnecock. What does that make you? Makes you a Blackcock. Yo, that's funny. It's like you have a bulldog and a Shih Tzu, right? What's the offspring of that? A bullshit. Fucking A. Anyway, let's see. Michigan, Massachusetts, right here. Nope. I'm telling you, I seen a Shinnecock tribe, yo. I might be able to just look it up. Oh, fuck. Delaware, Connecticut, right here. Western Pequot. There's lots of Pequot tribes. Yup. See, I knew. Yeah, Muncie, Colorado. What's up, Dagoji? Damn, I gotta be able to search this. Shinnecock tribe. Or no, Susquehanna. We're not looking for Shinnecock. We're looking for Susquehanna, y'all. Right here, right here, right here. The Conestoga Susquehanna tribe includes descendants of local Indians. Yee! Let's see. Because look at what this says right here. It says extinct Iroquois languages. Now, what I've been taught growing up where I'm from, as soon as you lose your language, you're not Indian no more. As soon as you link, you're not Indian no more. So I don't know how Lumbee became federally recognized. How are you singing songs and you don't know what you're singing? How are you having ceremony and not knowing what you're saying? How are you doing any of these things if you don't have a language? You need a language to be indigenous, yo. Sorry, to be a people. But you got Lumbee that don't have a language. They argue that that's not a requirement. It should be. The fuck? But anyway, I guarantee you, we already know that this is probably a fake ass tribe. They only claim the good tribes. They found out that these tribes are descendants of the mound builders. They're clinging and tethering themselves to Native American identities. But anyway, let's go. So, some observers believe that the Conestogas that survived the 1763 massacre in Lancaster, largely intermingling previously with the Iroquois of New York, have carried on the large Conestoga Susquehanna bloodline into the 21st century, establishing proof of Conestoga Susquehanna ancestry. However, it has been difficult. Unknown to the scribbler until recent days, a group operating in York County beyond has welcomed nearly 50 members into the Conestoga Susquehanna tribe. According to the rules of membership, all these people have documented history. They let 50 people in their tribe and all out of nowheres. That's crazy. So our enrollment criteria are deliberately broad. Deliberately broad due to the history in Pennsylvania. That's very vague. So, due to the history, what history in Pennsylvania? Just native history in general? Writes Michael Mantooth. Michael Mantooth. Let's Facebook him real quick. Let's see. New Hampshire. It's a Hunyal right there. Another Hunyal. Another Hunyal. Some more Hunyals. Hold on. Yeah, they're all Hunyals. Oh, right here, right here, right here. Is this him? Wait, what? Oh, right here, right here, right here. There we go. Conestoga. Okay, the city of Harrisburg, PA, December 17th, 2025. Mayor Wanda R.D. Williams welcomed representatives of the Conestoga Shinnecock Mantooth City Hall. During his visit, presented a proclamation recognizing the importance of learning from history and preserving stories of indigenous peoples connected to the Susquehanna River Valley. That's awesome. Hell yeah, yo. That must be him right there. That's him, I guess. Who's that? Andrea Legone. That's her. They must be members of the tribe. They got t-shirts though. Where's their regalia, yo? If this is such a if they are trying to be recognized in all this stuff, all they got is t-shirts. Where's your regalia? I mean, she actually looks native. He looks like he could have a drop. I'm not saying, I mean, he's a brunette, but it looks like he dyed his hair too, though. So, yeah, questionable. Very questionable. He needed her there, probably. Definitely. Let's see. But our Rome, it's right. However, no one without historically documented American Indian ancestry within our homelands will be permitted as a tribal member. Hold on, wait, what? Alright, whatever. It doesn't want me to read it. I'm not reading it, yo. Anyway, let's go back to the Susquehanna. Okay, let's get back to work. Laban, white. Yeah, there's no connection here for the word white. Moon, you know what words are going to stick? Not colors. Your planets. Moon. Endikagakwa. Yup. Hour. Or Endikagakwa. Etisoid. Soika. Gia. Yup. Dog. Gia. Hongwe. Unknown ho. Chin. Chin. Aichi. Water. Let's do water. Mayim. Egyptian word. Knew it. Knew it. Knew it. Knew it. Ka. Wemji. Gemnet. Okay. Let's see. Water. Onega. Wait. Water. Oneganos. Water. Knew it. Oneganos. And knew it. Yo, wait. What? So the Egyptian word for water is knew it. right? And the Seneca Cayuga word for water is oniganos or niganos. Oniganos. Oniganos. Nos and nu. Come on. The Egyptian word is nuet. Am I reaching? That I'm reaching. I see it though. Okay. Sega or giga. Ganga. Giga. Eat. You guess. Isik. Jeet. Jeet why or jeet why or jeet quiet. See. Or jeet quiet. Chahov. Chahov. Yellow. Chahov. Ujit quiet. Delongi. Wait. Delon. Negate. Delun negate. Delun negate. Delon negate. Yeah, yo, I don't see it, yo. I don't see this connection that they're talking about. This Hebrew connection. There's no Hebrew connection. Did you know we got kings? Mohawk kings. 4 of them. Here's one of them. There's another one. Here's another one. There's all 4 of them right there. 4 Mohawk kings. There was a 5th one, but he died. Damn, there's some good ass bud though. Yeah, look, we got our people wearing crowns, yo. You see the crown? Right there? I'm not talking about the feathers. I'm talking about what's holding the feathers up. That's a crown. That's a beaded crown right there. Our men usually wear Gustoat, but they're starting to put Gustoats on the crown. Sometimes you'll even see like a sterling silver crown on the Gustoat too. But down south they wear crowns. Look at their crowns. Oh shit, I don't even gotta scroll up right now. I don't feel like it anyway. Got this. Anyway. It's that gas pack. But yeah, these are not. Look, this is supposed to be Lumbee. This is what Cherokee and Choctaw wear. They copy. Yeah, see Lumbee. They copy the Eastern tribes. No, I wanted to get. I said that I wanted to get that for my birthday. The traditional pipe. Yeah, I want to get that one for my birthday. Is this Lumbee? Is he Lumbee too? He looks Lumbee. Seasdale. Oh, great. That's so weird. It's making me type it out. Why is it making me type it out all the way? There's no way they're talking shit about my people. There's no way I'm now just finding out fucking Lenape is talking shit about my people in this article. Let's get to it.
Early January of 2024, Riley was diagnosed with neuroblastoma.
Okay, go ahead. Post it in the community.
Everything.
I have a community on YouTube you guys can post on too. What the fuck is going on? Whatever. Anyway. So, historic facts. William Penn's son in the 1700s wanted Lenape Indians removed from Bucks County in the Lehigh Valley so the land could be sold to European immigrants. New York's powerful Iroquois and 5 allied tribal nations joined forces to make that happen. Oh, so they're talking shit about us. Okay. The confederation known as the Six Nations, headed by the Iroquois, agreed to sell the upper Susquehanna Valley to the Penn family. As in Pennsylvania? Okay. Proprietors of the colony. Oh, the Penn colony. Oh, the Pennsylvania colony, like in the 13 colonies. Oh, okay. Behind the scenes, the Penns had their eyes on Lehigh Valley, Lenape ancestral territory. So what it looks like is my Iroquois ancestors sold their enemies' land. And it looks like this happened a lot, yo. Yo, Thomas, Oklahoma, whatever you said in the comments, it got retracted. You're going to have to comment it again so I can read it. At the time, Six Nations expressed no ownership of that land. However, the Penns were aware the Iroquois overloaded the Lenape. In 1736, Six Nations sent a delegation to Philadelphia to sell the Susquehanna. Normally, so we would be the Six Nations in the 1730s. Before the 1720s, we were not the Six Nations. We were only the 5 nations. Tuscarora came from North Carolina. They got adopted into the Confederacy in the early 1700s, before the 1730s. So it was originally only the 5 nations. That's why the flag behind me only has 5 spots on it and not 6, because it was originally only 5. Okay, normally the natives, after such negotiations, quickly headed home. Not in this case. During the 14-day layover, they were recipients of very kind treatment and valuable presents, according to Wheeler. A second understanding was reached secretly to divest Lenape of their lands. It could scarcely have been more coincidence that the Six Nations claimed the right to dispose of lands in the Delaware Valley just when provincial authorities were making their elaborate plans to have the walking purchase include as much land as possible, according to Wheeler. The walking purchase was the second prong orchestrated by the Penns. The Lenape were open to selling what is today Central and Upper Bucks. The tribe agreed to set the boundary of the transaction with a walk on September 19th, 1737. Native observers expected a casual stroll over a day and a half, beginning at the Quaker Meeting House in Wrightstown and proceeding a straight line northwest to Tohickson Creek in the area of today's Lake Nakamixon. Land between the line of the walk and the Delaware River would be sold. Conosadego, Confederation spokesman, insisted only 6 nations had the right to sell the land and backed the government's claim to Lenape land. He went on to publicly berate the Lenape, as Wheeler noted. You ought to be taken by the hair of the head and shaken severely till you recover your senses. How can you sell land at all? We conquered you. We made women of you. You know you are women and you can no more sell land than women. We charge you to remove instantly. We don't give you the liberty to think about it. Conestoga, that's an Onondaga chief talking to Lenape like that. We made women out of you. Seized. That's fierce right there. Conestoga demanded Lenape move west into western Pennsylvania or to the Ohio River, where we shall have you more under our eye and we shall see how you behave. Fucking A. I was gonna say, why would you have them move to western Pennsylvania? That's our land. But he said, so we could have an eye on you. Damn. I can get something to eat real quick. My bad, guys.
Pen letter for you people that picked up on that. I'm grateful for all of you. Thank you for all the boosting and sharing. Please share this one to go along with it with everyone that you share. William Penn referred to as the leaders of these tribes as kings. So that's what I want to get into is the difference between a tribe and a nation. When did that change in American history? Not in actual.
He's right. You can find, I got a book where they talk about our Constitution and they're referring to the sachems. So you hear chief, you ever hear sachem? Well, the Hebrew word for for their word for like their high priest is Sagan. Same for ours, but it's not a high priest. It's like a high ranking official. It's a sachem, though, right? And you can hear these sachems being referred to as lords. And then you got some of these people, some of these natives. You got the four Mohawk kings, right? So lots of these natives too, and these tribes that descend from these people are like kind of act like res royalty in a way. It's sickening.
History. I don't want to mess with anybody's tribal belief system that's, melanated from pre-colonial times. We're not talking about that. We're talking about since colonials have been here, how has this been classified? How has it been allowed? Because they write history. So how did they allow it to be written? And there it is in a Pennsylvania history book, and that's what I want to do. This video is for this. All of you that were interested in William Penn's letter, please share this for a reason. I'm going to show you where you can go get it on Google Books for free. So if you go to look up History of Dauphin County, Pennsylvania. Dauphin is D-A-U-P-H-I-N. Dauphin County, Pennsylvania. This is chapter 1. In chapter 1 of that county's history, which is where the capital of the state is, it's an important history book. You read chapter 1 and you're going to hear what William Penn says for yourself, because it's not my words. Okay, not my words. I'm just sharing with you this history. And we want to get deeper into why does he refer to them as kings? Because we're going to get into soon. When did some of these tribes even become nations? And I want.
Let's look up secret tribes, secret treaties. This is good info. I'm glad some of y'all are able to take something away from this.
The race went from green to red to yellow to black to white. Let's run this again. Your race, skin color went from green to red, it's the Native Americans, the Egyptians, and the Mayans, to yellow, which are your Asians, to black, which are African and Afro-Americans, to white. Your white races were then considered to be genetically the weakest. In your linear time of third density measurement of 439,231 rotations ago,
war on a grave scale occurred in your solar system. This aggression occurred against those on your worlds that included not only you Terrans, but also those of Nibiru. This invasion of your system by Orion was led by a queen named Supti. This war was destructive on many levels and frequencies of physicality. We will focus tonight on your Terran physical form. It matters little to those who hear you, Alex, who do not listen. Please share this regardless of any emotional return to you in challenge. When your science truly removes their bigotry, they will discover of the wisdom of it. The last great conflict was very harmful to your physical form. Many weapons of destruction, many of atom splitting have been used, which means nuclear weapons. This is the reason for most of your Terran skin tones. We shall explain. Orion was and is most interested in the females of your race because of the procreation, reproductive, and genetic strengths. We want to share the fact that much of your Terran history has been misleading in its truth by those who eventually conquered in control of your solar system. Nibiru won, but only a short battle, before they and other outposts were forced to leave your solar system because of genetic damage. Your original races were green-skinned. This we know because of large copper traces in your Terran 22 blood types. Also, the pituitary and thyroid were fully functional. The genetic damage to these organs was caused by radioactivity in air and all things of contact. The air was like this for a long time. It caused the genetic memory of these organs to be closed and almost atrophied. Your world experienced drastic changes in climate and massive magnetic fluctuations. Your different skin tones, races, are a result of an edema damage to your blood. It was then necessary for survival to create self-sufficient and contained environmental habitats, both above and below the earth. Now, folks, this is what the Garden of Eden was. It was an artificially created environmental habitat. Okay, it's like like what Richard Holtman's been talking about. You know, you take a dome city, you build a stone, and then you terraform it underneath it. It's exactly what these were. Much of the fossilization of your Terran remnants is caused by this radiation of your planet. Your system contained 3 suns at the time. Only 2 remain. I'll read that again. Your system contained 3 suns at the time. Only 2 remain. The physicality in its original form contained a great balance of zinc, copper, magnesium, and iron. Your true blood color was green, like your chlorophyll. Some, we have discovered, even had a gold tint in it. As such, your physicality could survive in a high carbon dioxide atmosphere. Because of this skin color green, the only stars in your system that affected your physical form were in the color spectrum of orange, red, blue, and green. Many of your Terran races were stranded on the surface. The genetic changes were the result of radiation damage. Your race went from green to red, to yellow, to black, to white. Let's run this again. Your race, skin color went from green to red, the Native Americans, the Egyptians, and the Mayans, to yellow, which are Eurasians, to black, which are African and Afro-Americans, to white. Your white races were then considered to be genetically the weakest. Puts a whole new light on prejudices, doesn't it? As such, the survivors and descendants of the war were genetically altered and became white through edema. And they were persecuted and forced to live underground, only to surface 5,508 rotations ago to the surface of your world. The copper bloodline is now a small race on your planet, but it is strongest genetically. Your native Red Nation race is very strong and easiest to discover and understand. And folks, this might explain why.
Did you hear what he just said? Your copper races are your strongest, most genetically. Damn. Also, he said that the first people were the red man, then the Asians, then the blacks, then the white man, and the white man is only 6,000 years old, and he came to the surface 6,000 years ago. Do you hear what he's saying, y'all? Do you actually listen to what he's saying? Listen to what he just said.
Genetically altered and became white through edema. And they were persecuted and forced to live underground, only to surface 5,508 rotations ago to the surface of your world. The copper bloodline is now a small race on your planet, but it is strongest genetically. Your native Red Nation race is very strong and easiest to discover and understand. And folks, this might explain why there are so many abductions of the Native Americans on the reservations.
MMIW.
And why even today.
MMIW. So they never stopped Native sacrifice. Native Americans were sacrificing each other. We were sacrificing each other. Our ancestors sacrificed each other, especially the Mayans and Aztecs. Over time, we became more civilized, I guess, and we stopped sacrificing so much. A lot of tribes got away from that. They broke off. They didn't want to do that no more, so they migrated north. That's why you got a lot of tribes. A lot of these tribes do have ties to these big cultures, the Olmecs, the Mayans, and Aztecs. Iroquois has ties to the Mayans. Our creation story is the same. The twins, the parent dies, they bury it, corn's bean squash grows. Yeah, so we're connected to those people. But anyway, yeah.
They're still being persecuted.
Oh, yep, sacrifice. So our people are real people. We were talking about this earlier. When they try to sacrifice a non-native, it doesn't provoke the gods. It's not a worthy enough sacrifice. So that's also why MMIW and why our people get kidnapped the most. It's because we were sacrificing ourselves for millennia to the sun and all that. It was thirsty for our blood. So that's why also our blood has lots of copper in it. We're like X-Men, basically. That's why we got blood quantum. Yeah, so once you guys start to see and we're putting the pieces together, you're starting to realize the bigger picture. Our people are going missing is because they're sacrificing our people and they want their blood. And that's why we got blood quantum, because they want to know who's the pure bloods and who's the full bloods and who's got the good shit. They're adrenochrome.
You know, because if you're a coward, you suppress the strongest. The red is the closest to your original form among you. Your physicality had a natural defense to positive.
Did you hear what he said? The red man is the closest to the original among you. Did you hear what he just said?
The red is the closest to your original form among you.
The red is closest to the original form among you.
Your physicality had a natural defense to positive and negative frequencies due to the copper mineral in your blood. This lack of copper in your blood now has caused a partial loss of brain capacity and nervous system. Remember, your DNA contains cellular memory. It is possible to unlock this memory with the use of minerals such as copper. Your blood systems adapted to iron because of copper depletion due to radiation. We will share more with you, but we must return now. The race went from green to red to yellow to black to white. Let's run this again. Your skin color went from green to red, it's the Native Americans, the Egyptians, and the Mayans,
Yep.
to yellow, which are Eurasians, to black, which are African and Afro-Americans, to white. Your white races were then considered to be genetically the weakest. In your linear time of third density measurement of 439,231 rotations ago, war on a grave scale occurred in your solar system. This aggression occurred against those on your worlds that included not only you Terrans, but also those of Nibiru. This invasion of your system by Orion was led by a queen named Supti.
You Terrans, what is that?
This war was
Saturn?
specific on many
Saturn?
levels and frequencies of physicality. We will focus tonight on your Terran physical form. It matters little to those who hear you, Alex, who do not listen. Please share this regardless of any emotional return to you in challenge. When your science truly removes their bigotry, they will discover of the wisdom of it. The last great conflict was very harmful to your physical form. Many weapons of destruction, many of atom splitting have been used, which means nuclear weapons. This is the reason for most of your Terran skin tones. We shall explain. Orion was and is most interested in the females of your race because of the procreation, reproductive, and genetic strengths. We want to share the fact that much of your Terran history has been misleading in its truth by those who eventually conquered in control of your solar system. Nibiru won, but only a short battle, before they and other outposts were forced to leave your solar system because of genetic damage. Your original races were green-skinned. This we know because of large copper traces in your Terran 22 blood types. Also, the pituitary and thyroid were fully functional. The genetic damage to these organs was caused by radioactivity in air and all things of contact. The air was like this for a long time. It caused the genetic memory of these organs to be closed and almost atrophied. Your world experienced drastic changes in climate and massive magnetic fluctuations.
He's not talking about aliens. He's talking about the original people. He says that the red man is the closest to the original inhabitant. He even said that the red man was first, then yellow, then blacks. Black people come from Asians, just so you guys know. Black people come from Asians.
Are a result of the world, genetically altered and became white through edema.
Listen to this.
And they were persecuted and forced to live underground, only to surface 5,508 rotations ago to the surface of your world. The copper bloodline is now a small race on your planet, but it is strongest genetically. Your native Red Nation race is very strong and easiest to discover and understand. And folks, this might explain why there are so many abductions.
Look at that comment, $5 drunk. That's funny.
Of the Native Americans on the reservation. And why even
somebody called me a $5 drunk.
You know, because if you're a coward, you suppress the strongest. The red is the closest to the original form among you. Your physicality had a
The red is the closest to the original form among you. The red man is the closest to the original form among you.
Why even today they're still being persecuted. You know, because if you're a coward, you suppress the strongest. The red is the closest to your original form among you. Your physicality had a natural defense to positive and negative frequencies due.
Okay. That's enough of that. Colombia. I know how I know how I wear your watch today. I know how I. Oh, is this his website? Oh shit! Santa Claus got a website. I know. MMIW, they're taking our people because when they sacrifice a white person or a black person, it doesn't provoke the gods. When they sacrifice us, yeah, you provoke the gods. We are the original humans. That's who we are. That's who Native Americans are. We're the original humans of the planet. This is our planet. Black people came from Mars or Sirius B. This isn't their home planet. They're not. Listen, they don't even get enough sunlight here. They don't get enough sunlight here. Let's see. The fuck? That's his website? Whatever. Yo, you know what's mad interesting? White Indian tribes, yo. Fuck the black Indian tribes. There was white Indian tribes around here. You guys know that, right? How many of y'all knew that? There was white Indian tribes, yo. See, look, when you look up this topic, they don't want you to look, when you look up white-skinned Indians, it pops up, why do some Native Americans look black? It's because they don't want you to know about this. You got cannibals in the Americas that look like George Washington. Damn. I'm going to show you guys something cool in a minute, okay? Okay, so look at this. You got cannibals, white-skinned Indians in America. Seeing, what is this called? I'm saying that this is in Brazil. And they're pouring gold in his mouth. Why do they all look like George Washington? Even Indians having beards? Yeah, I think it's funny how these guys look like George Washington. She looks white too. And they're living in longhouses, actually. Palm trees. It says South America, Brazil. Here we go. Look, these guys have beards, yo. And looks like red hair. That might be in a different area, though. That might be from another part of the world. I don't know. Yeah, look. You got white-skinned Indians, yo. That look like fucking George Washington, yo. Cannibals. Here, let's look this up. Like, this is the only picture? Yeah, these are like white-skinned Indians, though. That's what I'm saying. There's like more pictures, though. I can't find it. There's They have these ones in color somewheres, yo. Let me look this up. White-skinned Indians. Right here, look. You got white-looking Indians, yo. This is what I'm saying. This is like a subject that's not covered because everybody is like, oh, the Indians are black. The Indians are black. But nah, they got stories. Natives got stories of blue-eyed Indians. And like, look at the phenotypes. You can't say that white isn't mixed into these in ancient times. I mean, Native Americans got a lot of admixture that Jew knows or Roman knows, Mayan knows. It's probably an Atlantean nose because Egyptians in the Middle East have that nose. Mayans have that nose. Anywhere where there's pyramids, people have that nose. And all those places that were pyramids were probably Atlantean or Lemurian colonies. Native Americans have ties to all ancient cultures. To every single one. Native Americans are the original humans. But yeah, we gotta find these pictures in color. There's more like this. Here's my people. Facts, not fact, not fiction. Oh, here we go. Some brutal ass shit. We'll do that one another day. But that's my people right there. We'll save that one. Red-headed giants. We're looking for a certain picture. Because there's pictures of these guys that look like George Washington. Yo. Guys that look like this, running around naked, eating people, yo. I'm not even kidding. There's paintings of guys that look like that, no clothes on, eating people. And I can't seem to find it. I think you guys know what I'm talking about too. Maybe type this in. Maybe go to Google. Maybe that's what it is. Red-headed tin Indians. Let's look this up. Here we go. We found it though. That's what I'm talking about, people. That is what I'm talking about. Beards even too, and look, there's something wrong with their skin or something, y'all. Even the little kid looks like George Washington, yo. That's what I'm saying, yo. Come on. Why do they look like George Washington? Look at the guy with the beard, too. This is what I'm saying, yo. This is what I'm saying. They're trying to blackwash history. Come on, yo. Crazy. Yeah, it looks like the George Washingtons hear me out. What if the 13 colonies were 13 white tribes of people that were cannibals? That are fucking, yeah, fucked up people that rewrite history and shit. A lot of what ifs. We can sit and speculate, but come on, why is this a thing? Why don't you know about this? Why don't they talk about this in school? Why do they teach people that natives were the ones that were doing this to them? What the fuck is this? They all got red hair and beards and shit and looked like George Washington. And then they're the ones that had fucking cookbooks on how to eat people, yo. We don't have no cookbooks on how to eat people. Native Americans don't have that, but the Hunyos do. The Delectable Negro. Look it up. It's a cookbook on how to cook people. And that meat on there, I know it's cut off and it looks like dark skin meat. I'm just saying. It's the darkest out of all of them. The limbs they're eating. Come on. Look at the girl. Well, look at the one all the way to that over there on the left, bottom left hand corner. That girl is pale with long hair down her past her ass, and she's eating a fucking 9-ether arm. A 9-ether. We always been here, mound builder arm. Come on, yo. This is where you're. Yeah. This is what I'm saying, yo. Weren't they descendants of giants? I heard that before those cookbooks. Okay, yeah, so these giants had red hair. These Nephilim giants, they're cannibals. But also, wait till you find out, these people are kind of used to this, running around naked like that. You know what this lady gives me? She gives me Harry Mary vibes. Oh, let's see. So yeah, that's Harry Mary. Mary Magdalene. Jesus's girl. She was a wild woman. So if you've been watching my content, you can scroll down. We were talking about the wild man. Mary Magdalene from Jesus and all that was a wild woman, actually. Sertupsetica, I know. The redheaded giants in Lovelock Cave. I know. We're talking about other stuff right now, though. We can get back to that in a second. The artist usually projects his own physical traits. Well, why would the artist put his face on other cannibals? Hey, I can look that up for you real quick. All right? What is it again? What did you want me to see, Tika? I mean, that's already came up right here. That's your Sitica right here, bro. There you go. Oh, no. Go back. But here's your... Oh, this is for another day. Class for another day. The elongated giants. So we'll do a class on the California Amazons. That's what Wonder Woman is. That's what Queen Khalifa was of California was. She was what Wonder Woman is. Native Americans are like X-Men. We're giants, descendants of giants. Where's the New York Giants comes from? We're basically Native Americans are basically Nephilim mixed with different DNA from around the world. You got Native Americans mixed with Siberian, Nephilim mixed with Siberian, Nephilim mixed with Polynesian, Nephilim mixed with Hindu from India, Nephilim mixed with European, Nephilim mixed with this, Nephilim mixed with Atlantean, Nephilim mixed with this. You know what I mean? Native Americans are Nephilim. We had the most extraterrestrial DNA. Watch this. Oh, we'll save that one. Hold on. Here we go. We're looking for it.
At dawn one morning, in a quiet genetics lab at a university, a solitary printout sat on an analyst's desk. The data glowing on the computer screen revealed something unsettling. A new DNA test, associated with a man tracing Cherokee ancestry, showed no match to any known human population. No similarity to other Native American profiles, no link to European or Asian lineages, nothing. It was an anomaly so stark that the researcher could hardly believe her eyes. In principle, it should have been impossible. Cherokee DNA, like that of any other group, should share markers with known populations. The Cherokee are one of the most studied Native American peoples. Their genetic signatures usually fit within the established framework of Native ancestry. DNA from a Cherokee descendant would normally contain haplogroups that scientists recognize and have recorded in global databases. Instead, this result was a blank slate. To understand why this result was so shocking, consider the story of the Cherokee. For millennia, their world lay in the forests and mountains of the American Southeast. Picture a misty autumn morning in the Smoky Mountains. The ridges stretch southward, clad in trees of red and gold, waterfalls carved through the valleys. These landscapes were Cherokee country for generations. Western North Carolina, eastern Tennessee, the high valleys of northern Georgia. Here the Cherokee made their home. For early explorers and settlers, the Cherokee people seemed to be deep southern mountain folk. Those who met them in the 16th and 17th centuries assumed they had always been there. The Cherokee built towns and farmed the hills, so it seemed natural. Their traditions and graves were rooted in the soil. But that comforting story took a strange turn when scholars examined the language. Cherokee is an Iroquoian language, yet other Iroquoian languages belong to tribes far to the north and east.
It's just to the... We're East Coast. You got Northern Iroquoian and you got Southern Iroquoian. And then you have linguists saying that there is linguistic connection to Mayan dialects down in Central America. Not only are they saying that there's linguistic connections from Iroquoian dialects to Mayan dialects, our creation stories are the same. We both have a set of creator twins, and they both bury their parent, and Cornsbane squash grows from their grave. That is such a very, that's like right to a T. It's too specific for the people not to be related. It's the same thing.
Mohawk, Seneca, Oneida, and Tuscarora lived in the Great Lakes region and upstate New York. The Cherokee sat alone in the Deep South, speaking a tongue that seemed out of place. Scholars noticed this early on. By the 19th century, questions were already being asked. How did an Iroquoian-speaking people come to live in the Appalachian Mountains? For generations, the answer remained vague. Perhaps there had been a prehistoric migration from the north. Perhaps an ancient split sent one group southward millennia ago. The tools to resolve these ideas simply did not exist. Archaeologists could map settlements, pottery styles, and mound sites, showing Cherokee presence back through the Pisgah and Qualla phases of the Woodland period. Linguists could estimate a rough divergence date, maybe 3,500 to 4,000 years ago, consistent with an ancient split. But neither archaeology nor linguistics could tell who moved, in what numbers, or what they carried across the miles. That changed with DNA. By the late 20th century, genetic analysis promised new clues about migrations and origins. Scientists began decoding indigenous genomes. They looked at the Cherokee alongside many other peoples. The assumption was straightforward: Cherokee DNA, whether mitochondrial, maternal, or Y chromosome, paternal, should slot into the existing picture of how the Americas were populated. Based on earlier research, most Native Americans carry 4 main maternal lineages, labeled A, B, C, and D.
So, if we descend from everybody else, why do Native Americans have haplogroups that are the first 4 letters of the alphabet? A, B, C, D. If we descend from Siberians and Asians and Eurasians that descended from Africans that walked out of Africa, shouldn't we be like haplogroup Z and Y and X, not the first 4? Shouldn't Africans, actually the only Africans that have the A or any of these haplogroups, they only have A and B. And the people that have this haplogroup are Khoisan. They look like Native Americans with woolly hair. We'll talk about that another day too. I do discuss that in tons of my videos, how Africans are Afro-Asiatics and they descend from Asians, and Asians are basically Native Americans that walked out of the Americas. The red man is the original man of the planet.
Many Cherokee samples indeed showed those haplogroups. Some even had haplogroup X, the unusual 5th lineage that appears mostly in the Great Lakes and among Iroquoian and Algonquian speakers. That
X haplogroup goes back to lost tribes.
X signal was sparse, but it tied in with the theory of a northern connection. On the whole, the genetic narrative seemed consistent with what researchers expected: a base of Asian-derived lineages with a hint of the Great Lakes. Then came our data point. A DNA test was run as part of a study of Cherokee genetics. The subject was a man with well-documented Cherokee ancestry, enrolled in the nation, and descended from Cherokee families. He had passed all the usual checks. Recorded family trees and tribal rolls confirmed his background. The lab expected standard results. Instead, the sequence that came back stunned everyone. It did not match the typical Native American haplogroups. It was not A, B, C, D, or even the rare X. Nor was it any known European or Asian haplogroup. In short, it was unlike anything they had seen in the databases. The analysts did what scientists always do. They double-checked everything. The sample was purified and rerun. The DNA data was sent to an independent lab for a blind test. Multiple sequencing methods were applied: mitochondrial full genome sequencing, Y chromosome markers, even autosomal SNP arrays. Each time, the result was the same. The tests still found no match to any reference population. The pattern was consistent and reproducible. Every analysis returned the same message: this Cherokee individual's DNA didn't align with any cluster of known peoples. The finding was now solid, not a one-off fluke. This produced deep uncertainty. In genetics, results are expected to fit patterns. To see one fall outside all known groups makes researchers sit up. Were there errors in the person's genealogy? Could this DNA belong to another relative or a sample mix-up? No, the lineage was clear. Was it contamination? The laboratory had sensitive controls and ran clean negative tests. Lab notes confirmed there was no stray DNA from any animal or technician. Eventually, the only conclusion was that this man's Cherokee heritage included a component that simply wasn't in the books. Such a discovery had profound implications. We like to think we know where people come from, but this said otherwise. Perhaps an
This is ghost DNA, people.
ancient branch of Cherokee history had been hidden until now. It raised questions. Could there have been people?
And isn't this crazy? Cherokee, a Cherokee man. Do you know how many people say they are part fucking Cherokee? And they have never seen this DNA anywhere. Ever. It's not popping up anywhere, and he's Cherokee. Do you know how many fucking people say they're fucking Cherokee? Do you know how many people are Cherokee? That's the biggest fucking tribe.
People who once lived in the Appalachians and later vanished from the record? Was it possible that the Cherokee inherited DNA from a group of people that science has not cataloged? The finding hinted that our map of human migration might have a missing piece. The historical context quickly came to mind. After all, the Cherokee had been the most populous tribe
Oh, that's funny. If you know who that is, that's funny, yo.
in the Southeast.
Yeah, that's funny. But anyway, yeah, that DNA can be a number of things. That DNA can be Atlantean, the original Garden of Eden DNA. It can be Lost Tribes. It can be Lemurian, Hyperborean. It could be DNA from the middle of the earth. It could be all Tartarian. It could be a lot of things.
At first European contact. Spanish explorers documented their towns in the 1500s. English colonies traded with them in the 1700s. Historians have mapped their villages, Chota, Tanasi, Niquasi, and noted their ties to the Mississippian mound-building world. The Cherokee participated in a broad pre-colonial network with maize agriculture and mound structures linking them to other cultures. By the late 18th century, they had large towns and even a written syllabary. Anthropologists in the 19th and 20th centuries classified the Cherokee as part of the Iroquoian family. Their neighbors, the Creek, Choctaw, Chickasaw, spoke Muskogean languages and
Muskogean.
were considered part of the southern cultural sphere. Many scholars assumed that if the Cherokee spoke Iroquoian, they might have migrated down from the north at some point in prehistory. Others simply left them as an isolated southern remnant with uncertain origins. But
Here's the thing that they're not understanding. So, Iroquoian people, Seneca, Cayuga, Onondaga, Mohawk, we got stories of migrating from Central and South America because there was an ice age that forced us down there. And this is where we get our corn from. And obviously our creation stories, and that's probably why linguists are saying there's linguistic connections between Mayan dialects and Iroquoian dialects. So Cherokee is Southern Iroquoian, and then you got Northern Iroquoian. I'm Northern Iroquoian. I'm Seneca.
language puzzle always lingered in the back of academic minds. Meanwhile, Cherokee oral history told a slightly different story. Tribal elders spoke of an ancestral homeland far to the north. They passed down tales of moving from a distant place in their sacred narratives. For example, the word Kidawah is remembered as a mother town or place of origin. Some versions of the legend even refer to lands around the Ohio Valley or Great Lakes. These were stories passed down through generations. They hadn't fit neatly into academic models, but now they took on new meaning in light of genetics. In the late 20th century, many Cherokee began taking commercial DNA tests for ancestry. Often the results were not surprising. Markers confirming some Native American heritage and sometimes European or African inputs, reflecting known history. Academic projects also sampled Cherokee groups under ethical protocols, expecting to confirm existing theories. The general expectation was that genetics would reaffirm what history and tradition had long said. Instead, this mysterious result confounded those expectations. Within weeks, rumors spread among geneticists. Some speculated perhaps the individual had an unknown adoption in his ancestry or a secret ancestor from outside. But his genealogical records were thorough and showed no obvious non-native forebear. Others considered technical glitches, maybe an instrument error or a mix-up. But after every plausible check, the anomaly persisted. It became clear that the mystery was real and required explanation. Faced with the anomaly, researchers considered multiple explanations. One obvious factor,
Somebody asked, how do you say corn in your language? We say anout. Anout. Oh, now.
reference databases are incomplete. The majority of genetic samples come from certain regions, and Native American groups are underrepresented, especially from the Southeast. It could be that this lineage appears very rarely and simply hadn't been sampled elsewhere.
Those are Maori. Those are not Native Americans, yo. That's Polynesians right there.
Perhaps centuries ago, some Cherokee women carried a unique lineage that was lost from the population except for this one descendant. Genetic drift over millennia can erase.
Yo, and that was a picture of Dene or Navajo people. See how they just look up picture of Native American and click on like a Dene picture and they're talking about Cherokee? That's funny.
Or hide lineages. Another possibility was more speculative. Maybe long ago an undocumented group migrated into the region and mixed with Cherokee ancestors, leaving no distinct archaeological culture. Contamination or lab error was another theory, but it fell short. The sequence appeared coherent and fully human, not like random stray DNA. If it were a lab mistake, the pattern would likely look chaotic or irreproducible. Instead, it was a clear, legible sequence. Every lab that sequenced the DNA saw the same story each time. The analysts even turned the idea on its head. The DNA was definitely human. If it had come from an animal or a stray molecule, it wouldn't produce a consistent human profile. But it did, every repeat. The more they looked, the clearer it became. The DNA was legitimate, not contamination, and still unexplained. Some began to entertain more exotic scenarios. Could there have been an undocumented migration? Perhaps thousands of years ago, a small band migrated into the southeast and lived isolated, later blending silently. This kind of story could fit an oral tradition of migration, but it had a problem. There was no archaeological sign of a distinct group in the Appalachians beyond known cultures. If an unknown people had lived there, unique artifacts or dwellings should have turned up. So far, none have. Without material evidence, these ideas remain speculative, but researchers kept them in mind. Another explanation came from demography. The Cherokee endured dramatic population changes after European contact. Disease, warfare, and the forced removals of the 19th century decimated their numbers. In 1838, around 16,000 Cherokee were forced west on the Trail of Tears. Roughly a quarter of them died en route. That was a severe genetic bottleneck. In population genetics, such events can drastically reshape ancestry signals. A mitochondrial lineage that was rare before could become common just because its carriers happened to survive. Conversely, a common lineage could vanish if its carriers were lost. It's possible that some obscure maternal lines persisted in the mountains only because a few women carried them through those hardships. Scientists argued privately about these ideas. Some were cautious. "Hold on," they said. "This result only covers one family line. Our conclusions would be premature." They pointed out that mitochondrial DNA traces just the maternal line. It tells nothing about a person's paternal ancestry or the full genomic picture. If this man's nuclear DNA and Y chromosome were typical Cherokee, then perhaps we're seeing just a local oddity. A person could have a Cherokee father and a Cherokee mother, yet the maternal line came from some distant ancestor. It would mean the anomaly is only one branch on the family tree. So one view was, it might simply be a quirk of the mother's side, a lineage that happened to pass down to this person, but otherwise went unnoticed. Others were more intrigued. They asked, what if this is a signal, not noise? A historian among them noted that if two lines of evidence converged like this, it deserved attention. This could be the key to a hidden chapter of history, someone whispered. They speculated it might point to something really old. Perhaps the answer lies just beyond what we know, one remarked. To them, ignoring one discrepant result risked overlooking the very surprise that could reshape the story. Meanwhile, respect for tribal authority became a factor. Cherokee leaders were consulted about how to interpret the finding. In formal meetings, they reminded researchers that DNA data must be handled with care. Tribal council members listened to presentations, and cultural advisors emphasized that no genetic result could override their ancestors' stories. The scientists agreed. Any explanation would be framed as a question, not a final verdict. No single finding could erase centuries of traditions passed down by Cherokee elders. Everyone in the room understood. The Cherokee story would be told by the Cherokee people as well as by scientists. Under the surface of the analysis, one truth became clear. Genetic evidence has limits. In effect, this incident highlighted that much of human genetic diversity is still undersampled. A laboratory can only compare a sample to what's already been cataloged. If you haven't sequenced a similar genome, you simply get no match. Every sample added to a database can change the picture, revealing connections that were hidden before. Perhaps if more Cherokee and other southeastern tribes were tested, or if century-old museum specimens were
So this is another thing too. So Native Americans aren't lining up to take DNA test. DNA test, people take DNA tests because they don't know who they are and they want to find out. Native Americans do not have that problem. We know exactly who we are down to the clan. And especially Cherokee, they have a clan system. So they're born into it. They're not going to take a DNA test to find out what they are because they already know what they are. They're Cherokee Blue Clan or Long Hair Clan or Wolf Clan or whatever, right? Bird Clan. They have a clan system. Same with us. We don't need to take DNA tests because we know who we are. So they're not going to have a lot of samples to go off of. That's why people think we come from Asia, is because they tested a lot of people from Alaska and they think we're all the same. That's like literally how stupid it is.
sequenced, this unusual lineage would find relatives. For now, it stands alone, reminding us that a DNA test can only explain something in terms of what is already known. In the Cherokee case, history offered no easy answer. If there once was a migrating group with this lineage, where did they come from? The Great Lakes theory already had supporters, but this could imply something different. Maybe
So life originated around the Great Lakes. So if you look up the world's oldest water, it's going to be near Ontario. And then the world's oldest forest, the first garden, is going to be in New York, Cairo, New York. The world's oldest rocks is also going to be near the Great Lakes. The world's oldest trees are going to be in California, redwoods. World's oldest rocks, or Canada. World's oldest fossils, the Northeast. Your garden, the elites and the Freemasons and the Mormons, the Illuminati, all three are connected. They have the same beliefs and the same rites and rituals. Ask any Mormon, they have a whole secret handshakes and all that. It's Freemasonry. The founder of Mormonism and the founder of the Illuminati were both Freemasons, raised by Freemasons. And they believe that the Garden of Eden is in Missouri. Also, Elon Musk knows this. This is why they said they're going to build God, the AI God, in Memphis. Because they also believe the old world is here too. That the maps were flipped, so this would be Israel.
Counter or
and Jerusalem and Egypt and all that.
Or perhaps there was something even older at play. None of this could be confirmed. Scholars pointed out that many ancient sites in the Appalachian region have been eroded or remain unexcavated. Clues could be buried under later soils, undeciphered, until technology or opportunity allows. The absence of evidence was frustrating, but not necessarily final. History often keeps its secrets in silence until someone digs them up. Science had to be honest about what was known. The researchers admitted they had more questions than answers. They could not claim a sensational discovery from one odd result. In their lab notes, they wrote that this was simply a small piece of a much larger puzzle. An anomaly is not proof of a new civilization, only a clue. It reminded them to remain patient and let further research do the talking. For now, the record said, we don't know enough, and that is okay. It was a moment of humility. History is rarely written with one anomalous data point, but anomalies like this are exactly what drive us to learn more. As evening fell,
So basically they're saying they don't have enough DNA for them to say, oh, this is it was one person. Same with the Albert Perry case. So I know you guys are familiar with that. The guy that popped up for the world's oldest DNA. That guy doesn't want to take a second test. People want to test his DNA again, but he wants to like die being, oh, I took one test and I had the world's oldest DNA. But they don't want to, he doesn't want to take another DNA test to like confirm that, is because it was probably a fuck up on the test. So they tested this Cherokee guy over and over and over and over again, and they keep getting the same anomaly or whatever, right? And yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like the Albert Perry guy that got the world's oldest DNA only took the one test, and he's scared to take another test because he knows that it was a fuck up on the test. The Cherokee guy has took multiple tests, and it keeps popping up for unknown ghost DNA, and they just don't have enough DNA. See how they got privilege and we don't have privilege like that?
The lab emptied and the machines went quiet. The lights in the work area dimmed and the DNA sequencer sat idle. Outside, the Smoky Mountain.
So the Mormons, so on Facebook, Sky Martinez says, Mormons stole so much gold from my people. All their temples are adorned with the gold they stumbled upon that was being passed around. Cortez would not ever find it. So that's true. I believe that because they also stole gold from us. So Senecas helped the British in the War of 1812. They stormed Old Fort Niagara, which was a star fort built on top of a mound, and the mound was a pyramid. Also, they burned down the city of Buffalo in 1813, and except for all every single building except for 3, right? And the British gave Tonawanda Senecas bars of gold for their involvement in the War of 1812. Somehow Joseph Smith got his hands on this gold, the founder of Mormonism and the prophet. He's not my prophet, but he's their prophet, right? He forged these tablets in reformed Egyptian language, basically like Micmac, it looks like. But allegedly, Tonawanda Senecas taught him this language. So we talk about that in another video.
Were calm. A cool breeze whispered through the trees. Somewhere in the distance, an owl called. Inside the tubes and hard drives lay the coded history of a human past, now silent in their cold storage. It was a moment of quiet reflection. Data were locked away, and the forest held its breath. If a Cherokee had walked those hills at dawn centuries ago, he would have known all too well that the land still had much it wasn't saying. For now, no clear answer had emerged. The Cherokee DNA anomaly became a whisper in the human story. It suggested questions. What if there were ancestors we haven't sampled? What if the Cherokee journey included encounters that left almost no trace? The anomaly itself was too subtle to shout a conclusion, but it would not go away. Perhaps future scientists will find another person with the same pattern, or perhaps an ancient burial in those Appalachian hills will yield a clue.
Right? But there's laws and acts put in place called NAGPRA, Native American Graves Reparations Act. They have to give us back our ancestors, and they're not allowed to dig in these mounds. Also, Native Americans are not racing to take DNA tests, where we don't want them to have our DNA, so they can't develop new diseases to wipe us out, because they could do that. The Mormons also own Ancestry.com. They are looking for these lost tribes.
If that happens...
And remember, the Pilgrims were called Pilgrims because they thought they were coming to a holy land or a sacred land, the motherland. They thought this was Atlantis. They thought they found the Garden of Eden. They thought they found fountains of youth. They found golden cities, lost cities, the original humans, the people from the Garden of Eden, the pre-Adamites, all that.
Maybe the story will be resolved. If not, it will remain a quiet mystery. One more chapter that history has not yet written. One thing is certain, the Cherokee people continue their lives in the woods and streams of this land, speaking their stories and remembering. For now, the past keeps its secrets a little longer.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
November 1804. Lewis and Clark meets up.
Hell yeah, that was a good one, guys. That was a good one. So anyway, we were looking at these cannibal tribes, right? Or these red-headed cannibal tribes right here. So they got these, my people have the Iroquois. My people are the Iroquois, right? We have the stone coats or stone giants. These are giants with elongated skulls. But yeah. Hell yeah. Let's look at these giants then. This is called the Encyclopedia of Giants of the Americas. Look how fucking creepy this guy looks, yo. Looks like a Hut Dewey, yo. False face. But yeah, yo. Scary, huh? My people have encounters with these. So these motherfuckers, when they say stone coats, that means a couple things. So you got natives wearing, you got copper armor wearing giants remains being found in the Northeast. You got copper plates with Hebrew being found on them. This armor that they're finding on these giants has Hebrew written on it. Maybe Reformed Egyptian. Is this a real pic? It looks like it, to be honest. I don't know who or what this is, but this thing is fucking creepy looking. But yeah, yo. This is our people had run-ins with these, so they call them the stone coats. So you would think like stone giants, like the Watchers. So if you watch the movie Noah, look up the Watchers. They're stone giants, actually. Our people, when they say those stone giants right here, oh, Harry Mary, we don't want to get too far off track. We'll get back to what we were talking about earlier, but Harry Mary is an awesome subject, guys. You guys would love it. So, Harry Mary was a wild woman, and we were just talking about that. How you can see, right? You can see some of these cannibals, these women, these cannibal women looking like that. You can even find pictures of like Mayans drinking blood, and they look like vampires, yo. Oh, I want to show you guys a page out of my book, yo. Oh, fuck. I'll show you later. Oh, yeah, dude. We were working on our book earlier. Oh, it's gonna be good, yo. I gotta get a flash drive. The book is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna leave this stream on my page. Usually I delete my streams. I'm gonna start saving my streams on my page because this was an awesome stream. Just so you guys can rewatch it. But I got a lot planned for you guys this year now that I got a new setup. Head lengthening, that was more common than you think, dude. It was happening. Indians were doing that. How are the giants related to the Iroquois? Well, for one, Iroquois are giants. My tribe has the world's tallest Native American. His name is Brave. He's like 8'1" or like 7'11" or something. He's fucking huge. Also, my uncle is a giant. My cousins are giants. I got giants on both sides of my family. Yeah, I'm coming out with a book. It's gonna be a picture book, a hardcover picture book with lots of words in it. It's gonna be dope. It's gonna have all this stuff in it. Everything that I talk about, cause my style, this is my style. This is how I go. I'm like this on TikTok. And with TikTok, I just got tons of screenshots on my phone, and I just have a green screen the whole time. So that's how I'm teaching. Now I got this, and I can just look it up and show you guys, and it's just so much better this way. So this is my style. This is how I do it. So if you guys like my style, make sure you guys follow this page so you can find me again. Like, look, here's another one you can't even see. Hold on. There you go. See, they're Hunyos. That's what I'm saying, y'all. Here's another one. More Hunyos. Look, he got the beard. You see that? There we go. That's better. See? I'm sorry, but those are white people. That's white people right there, yo. Why do they look like George Washington? Right? So these are your cannibals that look like white people in America. Your redheaded cannibals. I've seen these in color, and they have red hair, and the ladies look like Harry Mary from or Mary Magdalene, right? And these guys look like George Washington. Even the kids look like George Washington. Like, come on. Now watch this. See what I mean? Look, he's hairy. Look how hairy that guy is. Right there. He has a beard. These are Hunyos. Even the kid. What? Hold on. Taking a bath in intestines now. See, now now I know what they mean when they say George Washington used to cut off the breast of women and sew them up and play football with them. Because that looks like George Washington. The guy on the quarter and the guy on the $1 bill. See? Look. God damn, look, they got beards. No Indians look like this, y'all. And the women have light hair. All of them have light hair. Blonde or red. Look, there's a wild man there too. You see what I mean? And I just did a video on this too. These are supposed to be the Indians though. Alright, well, we're gonna take a break, guys. Well, actually, we're gonna be done for the night. I'll be posting content. I'll leave this up so you guys can watch or make content out of it. I don't care. But I hope you guys have a good rest of your night. Donate to the Cash App. Shit. I'll post it on my page. But I'll catch y'all later.